So we're starting today's vlog with a fun announcement, and that is that I have officially destroyed my third pair of Tempo Next percents. It's kind of hard to see, but I definitely popped that pod right there, and it's also pretty much compressing right there like pretty badly. It's caved in, kind of like my favorite meme, which I'm gonna post. Like, I'll put it side by side to this shoe right here. And basically, yeah, that's kind of what's going on with those shoes. I'll also post the Strava here for today because today's run was wicked. It was like my first long run in a little while, and I'm feeling a lot more energized, a lot more motivated to run overall. Just been on the grind, so I haven't been necessarily filming all the workouts nearly as much. But there's some cool stuff coming up. We're going to talk about it in a minute here, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Good afternoon. It's day number 3 this week. I did some kind of run. I'll post the Strava here. Basically, it's getting hot out here again in Chicago. It's feeling a lot like Florida once again. So I got to figure out my water bottle situation, whether it be I carry just the one with the thumb strap on it, or I start carrying a water backpack with me. Haven't quite decided yet, but point is, it's getting hot. I got to figure out this water situation yesterday, and yeah, hopefully that'll improve the quality of runs, because today just felt terrible. So I'm gonna go do some ankle rehabilitation, maybe do some shoulders as well, some arms, and yeah, I think it's gonna be an easy day from here.
We on mute, loud and clear now. That sound good. Life in motion, like it's short. Came a long way, played a long game. Yesterday gone, we on the way. Yeah. Saw it aware, sets a lighthouse search. Yeah. Saw it aware.
Alright, and we have made it back to my place. Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Filip Latocha. Today we're just going to be discussing race updates and all sorts of things like that coming up in the next couple of months. What the game plan is going to be, how I'm feeling right now about certain things, and yeah, just basically what the goal is going to be leading up to Tokyo 2022. So before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. You guys know how this thing goes. And if you continue watching my content and you're subscribed, thank you so much. Love you all very much. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first. From a physical standpoint, I mean, again, I'm supposed to be trying to do like this daily vlog or like weekly vlog kind of thing. It's not that I'm having trouble filming stuff. It's just I'm really focused on my workouts right now, and I just don't have a whole lot of time to like grab my GoPro or my iPhone and just film stuff. That kind of defeats the purpose of having like a daily vlog, right? If you're not like filming it and whatnot. I'm going to start trying to better myself on that, so I have some content that I can put in these videos, because I don't have any new running footage. And I think the last time I like recorded myself running was probably in Florida. And even then I had a little bit of help out there, because, you know, if I'm racing, I don't want to go with a GoPro or something like that. So maybe that's going to be the play from this point on, is to hire somebody or have somebody who wants to like build their portfolio of vlogging and filming and things like that. Maybe they'll start filming for me. I don't know. We'll see how that goes as we move on. I'm not like professional enough to have some kind of person following me around all day for that, but it would be pretty sick, not gonna lie. It would definitely take a lot off my shoulders in terms of filming daily stuff and just not having to have that on my mind, more or less. But anyways, yeah, let's talk race updates. So obviously Florida was like a month ago, definitely coming off some really good momentum there, but also took a big nosedive in terms of running while I was out there, because I won one of my races out there, took a dub. Second race I did out there, I took second place, but immediately after that had a huge ankle injury that I couldn't quite pinpoint what was going on with it. You know, I ended up not starting the third race that I signed up for while I was out there, which is kind of, you know, depressing, but it is what it is. You can't win them all, you can't start them all, and as I learned, it's just that's kind of the case, right? So basically, I come back here, and the idea is to get an MRI on my ankle and get an x-ray. So the x-ray obviously concluded that I didn't have any broken bones, so I said, great, let's just keep going on. Let's do some self-rehabilitation with resistance bands. Let's see if we can rebuild the strength in the ankle. And for the most part, my ankle's feeling about 65 to 70%. I can definitely run upwards of like 50 miles a week right now. Pretty easy with fast paces with very stable shoes like the Tempo Next Percent. But if I'm running in something like the ZoomX Invincible or the Alpha Fly, I will definitely feel a little bit of work in the ankle there that I don't want to aggravate. So again, the MRI is still on my list of things to do because it caused me to DNS another race. And this was, I think, a week or two ago from this day at the Morton Arboretum. I ended up signing up for it, and then the day before, my ankle was just really not feeling it. And I remember going on a run like exactly 12 hours before the race, just saying, all right, if I can't get myself comfortable in these Alpha Flies while I'm running like a 5K, I'm just not even going to race. And truth be told, I went with the Alpha Flies with compression, everything I would do for race day, and just did not work out, and I chose to basically not race that day. So, the MRI is definitely on my list of things to do. It's just that right now I'm also coordinating with my brother to get his knee an MRI because we go out to Florida, we party hard, we all get busted, and well, here we are. So, basically, long story short, that's just kind of what we're waiting for, is to kind of coordinate a day that we can both go at the same time, get our MRIs, and find out how badly we beat ourselves up. So that's kind of our first step here. But of course, the next big thing is just looking and moving forward, of course. So from here, about a month and a half's worth of time from now, there's a local 5K that I signed up for in a suburb just on the outskirts of the city that I raced back in 2018, I believe. It was a 5K race. I took 6th place both years in a row based on the field out there. And basically, I signed up for that 5K again, and I'm in it to win it now. So basically, I was about to transition into this marathon training block, but I'm realizing I don't have to get really serious about the marathon block until at least late June, early July, when I start really upping the mileage per week. Right now, I'm comfortably able to do 50 to 60 miles a week, which is more than enough for an elite level 5K training plan where I can have, you know, that daily mileage of whatever it is to build that aerobic base, but then also have some track speed, maybe not even track workouts necessarily, but just have those fartlek, those tempo threshold workouts in the mix to essentially start rebuilding the speed in my legs that I may have lost from Florida, for example. So basically, again, the goal is to try to run a sub 16-minute 5K, but that's going to be quite a hurdle to climb right now because my 5K PR as of right now, unofficially, which has now been done during one of my races, which was a 4.5 miler in Florida, and then a turkey trot 10K back in, I think it was 2019, is like just under 18 minutes, closer to like 17:40 something. I'm definitely a lot faster than I was back then, but again, I've never actually had a 5K time trial to test this out, like on the roads per se. So it's going to be exciting to see what I can do in the next coming weeks to build up the speed. And even if I break a sub 17-minute 5K, I'll be really happy with that. But a sub 16 is like mentally the A+ goal of, you know, my running right now. If I can break that, that really sets up a good foundation moving forward to potentially break like a sub 32-minute 10K or sub 34, depending on how you want to play it. And then it's going to gradually build itself, hopefully, into like the half marathon, in terms of cutting that time overall because of the speed you're able to build and then the endurance and aerobic base that comes to follow as you stay consistent and work with that. So basically, that's kind of the start from the cardiovascular side to get that down. But there's another thing that's, of course, occurring minus this 5K race. And that big thing is that triathlon season is like 80% happening. Right now, you know, the world is still opening up and whatnot. But I ended up signing up for the New York Olympic Triathlon Lottery, which I'm kind of just leaning on the side of, you know, not passing that lottery. I kind of just don't want to go anymore. It's like in mid-July, so it's going to be really hot, but basically I will train for that accordingly. And then, of course, for the Chicago Triathlon, there's a contingent plan right now. I'm definitely going to do the Olympic distance on my own, but there's also talks with some of my friends, and including my brother, to basically do a relay, I think it's just the sprint for that race, where it's just a half a mile swim, 15-mile bike, and 5K run the day before that race. So it'd be really cool just for all of us to, kind of get together, have that relay sprint race overall, and just have a really good time. So that's kind of on my back burner as well. And then after that is the half Ironman Wisconsin a few weeks after that. So basically the Chicago Triathlon would be my build-up race into Ironman Wisconsin 70.3, which would be a sick goal overall if it continues to happen. And I think it will. And it's going to be closer to like September-ish time. So here's the thing why I'm still choosing to opt in for Ironman Wisconsin 70.3 is because Berlin Marathon might get pushed back for me, and I'm perfectly okay with that right now. I've kind of accepted the fact that there's still a lot of uncertainty with people getting the shot and whatnot and international travel. It's, it's whatever to me. So if Berlin doesn't happen this year, I won't be mad about it. It gives me that much more time to recover from Ironman Madison 70.3 leading into the Chicago Marathon. And by then, it'll be my progressive build-up phase into maybe running 80, 90 miles a week sometime in like mid-September, leading up to, obviously, Chicago Marathon, and then the taper from there. And then depending on how the winter season goes, maybe there's a turkey trot, maybe there'll be a hot chocolate run. Who knows? But basically, this is kind of the plan right now in terms of building up to what in terms of like the race schedule at least. Now, I kind of just want to discuss a little bit of what's going around in the background in preparation for this. So obviously one thing, this is something that's stuck with me for a long time, and it comes from, I believe it's Dr. Peter Attia. He was on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts, and he was discussing some cardiovascular stuff about how marathon runners ultimately are quote-unquote all engine and chassis with no extra parts. And that's something that really stuck with me because that it really deems true for a lot of endurance-based athletes, that they are very skinny, they are very muscular, their cardiovascular is just supreme, and they don't have a lot of like muscles, weight, and things like that. And the important thing here is that when you're training for a marathon, that definitely holds true, but in a triathlon, you gotta adjust what kind of extra parts you're putting on. In this case, as you can kind of see, I've bulked up just a smidgen because weightlifting has just become a regular routine thing for me now. And the idea is once I'm back in the water, we're going to see if the strength I've developed in the upper body more or less is going to help in the water, or if reducing my size and weight overall will be the better outcome. So there's still a lot of experimentation that needs to occur. And of course, right now, it's not really impacting my running in a negative way. In fact, I think building up the shoulder strength and the arm strength overall definitely helps in the stride of, getting an arm motion that's going to help kind of build some momentum and, kind of work with the hips and the lower body, and ultimately helping develop a more balanced stride that isn't entirely leg driven, but also uses, the core, your shoulder swing in there, kind of like a sprinter more or less would, but you're not trying to like basically sprint the entire duration of your 9 to 10 mile workout. You just want some kind of upper body balance in there to kind of keep the system together. So definitely working on, of course, getting the upper body together, continuing my leg workouts, obviously, because you can never say no to leg day workouts. But the other plan, of course, is to start developing more runner-based workouts that are more focused on, I'd say, core, more focused on things that are functional, more or less, rather than like something like a Zercher squat or box squats or Nordic hamstring curls, which will focus strictly on building the muscle strength. Maybe there's got to be some more functional training in there, and I think that's going to be a big focus leading up to this training block, of course. So that's kind of one of the things in the background. And the second big one, this is a very contingent plan. I don't want to like announce anything and then it doesn't happen, but I'm really keen on this depending on how I save my money. The plan is to go out to an elevation training camp, self-performed training camp, for like 1 to 2 months. Kind of like how I did Florida, where I just disappeared for a whole month from Chicago and came back and, my life changed. I think the plan right now will be to go somewhere out west, preferably Colorado, maybe the Boulder area, maybe back to Silverthorne, and basically train in elevation for a month, come down whenever there's a race, go back up to elevation, and just try to do my entire marathon training block in 3,000 plus feet above sea level, and then have some days that are basically at 7,000, 8,000 feet. and experiment with that ultimately. See if a month in elevation can make that big of a difference when it comes to a race day at sea level. So there's still a lot of experimentation that needs to occur in the background there, a lot of planning. I have people who are definitely willing to do that. It's just, again, if I want this to be like a big production for the vlog, maybe there'll be some additional people who will come out who maybe I'll hire to film some stuff, maybe edit some stuff in the background, because it's not like I'm just going to go out there and train all the time. Like, I'm going to be working out there more or less because I have the ability to work 100% remote, and, you know, so far, you know, management's been very cool with it. As long as you get your stuff done, there's no issue for me, at least. That's, you guys should always work for a company where that's kind of the deal that you can get, is that you don't have to fly into work or anything. You don't need a hybrid schedule. Just as long as you get your stuff done remotely, everything is jelly, you know, smooth. So I think that's all I've got for now in terms of discussing the races. I mean, again, this is all leading up for Tokyo 2022, which is like the major goal here, because Tokyo 2022 just seems like such a big goal. That's like the big ring I'm trying to grab right now and pull it down and just have that, you know, around my shoulder here, because again, that's what this vlog has been essentially revolving around. So yeah, I think I'm done talking about this all though, because this is all just tentative planning, a lot of racing kind of things that are going to be occurring, and hopefully soon you'll see some content related to this big plan that I've got going on. And if you do, you kind of know what's going on. So hopefully in a month from now, I win a 5K, get a PR, it'd be pretty sick. And then the training blocks and weightlifting videos that might be built up for, you know, the triathlon Ironman series, including the marathon racing series, start coming up. And hopefully there'll be a lot more daily vlog content, shoe content, you know how these things go. So thanks again for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next installment.